Alright, what's going on guys? My name is Omega. Welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've never done a video like this, but I figured it would go over well with you guys, so hopefully you enjoy it. Today we're going to be looking at the best Apex Legends cosplays that I could find on Reddit, Google. I basically scavenged the internet for some really cool cosplays, and I came up with a ton of great stuff. All of the links to these cosplayers will be down in the description. Hopefully you guys enjoy today's video, but we're gonna hop right into this first cosplay, which is a really dope cosplay of Wraith. This was done by someone named Oreo. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but really cool cosplay. I mean, the whole outfit is on point with Wraith, and what I really am interested in is what kind of contacts these cosplayers use, because a lot of times cosplayers will use contacts to change the colors of their eyes, and for Wraith, you know, Wraith doesn't really have any visible pupils, so you have to get contacts that basically cover your entire pupils, which is why you can't see them in her eyes right here. So this is a really dope concept. Obviously, she's got the kunai knife and what looks to be a wingman at her side. Super dope. I just love where the picture was taken to. I thought this was an amazing cosplay in itself. Personally, I would love to do cosplays. I just don't know where to get them. Like, do most of these guys make these themselves, or are they buying them somewhere? I'd really like to know, because cosplaying does sound like something, you know, I would definitely do if I ever went to like a gaming event, or if I just wanted to, you know, dress up as Caustic and go to Walmart. That's something I would totally see myself doing. Anyways, moving on to the next one. This is by Eighth Nuts, and she did a Lifeline cosplay that looks super realistic. I mean, everything about her outfit, and she even kind of has like the same face as what Lifeline would look like. Super good cosplay. I really like this one. It even goes to show that you can just use, you know, a lot of like materials that you have at home, or just really simple stuff to make really cool designs, because it looks like she has like dishwashing gloves on. Obviously the bandana and the face mask is just kind of like painted over, so a lot of this is really basic stuff, but still a really cool cosplay nonetheless. Now this has to be one of like the dopest cosplays I found. There are a lot of other cool ones, but I just love this picture and how it was taken. This is a cosplay of Bloodhound done by Ayachi on Reddit, and this is just an amazing cosplay. Like, this looks like something that was rendered in a computer program, but no, this is an actual person, you know, in an actual photo studio. And I just think this is insane. Everything about this cosplay looks so realistic to Bloodhound. I don't even know who is actually under this suit, whether it's a guy or a girl. Obviously, Bloodhound is non-binary in this game, so they don't go off of any gender, but I was still really curious to see who is behind this masterpiece, because everything about this, including the weapon, it just looks so good, man. This next one is a Loba Loba cosplay done by Bitten Badger, and she actually posted a few other pictures of her kind of in the process of making this cosplay. Everything she did was done by hand, including Loba's staff. I'm really curious how she actually made Loba's staff. Like, did she just get like a wolf head and paint over it and attach it to a pole? Or I'm really not too sure. You know, these cosplayers, they really have to get creative when they're making these stuff, because obviously they're not going to go out and, you know, forge these weapons, you know, by hand. A lot of this stuff is just like plastic, but you still got to paint over it, you got to carve it, or do whatever you need to do to make it look exactly like the character itself. So I really like this cosplay. She did an amazing job. Let me know what you guys think of this Loba cosplay down in the comments below. But next up, we have another Wraith cosplay. I feel like Wraith is probably one of the most popular legends to cosplay, just because she's like a fan favorite in the game, and I feel like she's pretty easy to cosplay compared to some of the other legends. But this cosplay was done by Cherry LOL, and again, you can see with the eyes, you can barely see her pupils, or her pupils look kind of like a light purplish. I think the other cosplay, you couldn't even see her pupils at all, and obviously there's some, you know, photo effects going on the left side of this picture, but this is a very good looking cosplay. I mean, she does actually look a lot like Wraith, which is really surprising. Let me know what you guys think of this cosplay. I think it looks pretty dope. You know, besides the photo editing that was done for her to create the little void, it just looks amazing. But finally, we have a cosplay for Watson. This was done by Cosplay Me, and I'll leave a link to her Instagram down in the description below. And by the way, if there's any cosplayers that watch this video that want to have their social media promoted, make sure you reach out to me. Let me know what social media you want me to include in the description. I try to include everything, but some of the cosplayers, I can't find their social media, so please get in touch with me if I did miss you. But again, this was done by Cosplay Me, and it looks really, really sick. And it looks like everything was kind of handmade made, including her ultimate on her back. I mean, that is definitely something that you can't just like go on Amazon and buy. Something like that needs to be hand created, and I am just, it's so insane, man, how these people do it. I mean, everything about this cosplay looks legit. She looks like Watson, and I even like the sneakers that she's wearing in this cosplay. I don't know if Watson in game would ever rock those, but it was a nice addition, and it definitely just pulled the whole thing together. Now we got another Bloodhound cosplay done by Current Fed Ep, and this is a really good cosplay. I feel like Bloodhound is probably one of the harder legends to cosplay, just because Bloodhound has a lot of aesthetics on their body that makes it probably harder to cosplay. Like, you have Bloodhound's mask, you have Bloodhound's like entire outfit, and I think like one of the hardest parts would be the mask to recreate. So this guy did a really great job of recreating Bloodhound into this cosplay. I would love to see how this was actually made, because you can see a lot of, you know, very tiny details that were added just to make this cosplay look as legit as possible. I mean, I would totally do a Bloodhound cosplay if I had any idea how to make this. If any cosplayers out there can make me like a cool cosplay, like, I'll pay money for it. I'll show up to PAX in whatever outfit you make me. I would love to have a Revenant one, but I'll take what I can get, man. Whatever looks the best on me. This next one though, coming from Dead Myth, and I'm not sure if this is the guy who actually was in the picture or if someone just posted this picture, but this is a Caustic and Wraith cosplay, and I gotta point out that Caustic, he looks like Caustic, and I'm not just talking about his outfit, but this guy has like the beard and the hair to match Caustic perfectly. I don't know if this is the look that he normally has, or maybe if he was just growing out his hair for this event, but either way, that is like one of the best Caustic cosplays I've seen so far. And then obviously we got Wraith right next to him, and I don't know how tall Wraith is in game compared to Caustic. I think Caustic is one of the taller legends, but I could totally see, you know, Wraith being that tiny next to Caustic in real life. So I thought this was a really well done cosplay for both of these guys. This next cosplay is coming from Destro Sally, and it looks like she posted this for her daughter, but her daughter was cosplaying Rosie during the Assimilation trailer after Revenant killed her parents. And you guys remember at the very end, Rosie had that super evil look on her face, and this girl absolutely nailed that look. I mean, with the makeup and how she's staring at the camera, this is like a perfect cosplay, and I didn't think that anyone would actually go out of their way to cosplay Rosie. I saw a ton of Loba cosplays, but I had to include this in this video because I thought this was absolutely perfect, and it honestly made me laugh out loud when I saw this, because I was like, damn, I was just not expecting that at all. This next cosplay is done by Aaron Ball, who cosplayed as Octane. Now, the story behind this picture and what's kind of cool about this cosplay is Aaron Ball was actually invited out by Respawn to cosplay as Octane, and they actually made her real prosthetic legs that she could use in this cosplay. Aaron Ball is someone who 15 years ago, she was in some sort of accident and she actually lost both of her like lower legs. So she did use prosthetic legs after that, and it's really cool that Respawn actually invited her out and made these prosthetic legs specific for Octane and that actually work. You know, these aren't just like, you know, cheap prosthetic legs. These prosthetic legs were built for comfort and for mobility. So the fact that they did that is really cool. And if you guys want to learn more about Aaron Ball and her story, I would highly suggest going on Google and just searching it up. It's a really just inspiring story of how she got out of a really dark time in her life. But nonetheless, this cosplay is a really good cosplay, and because of the story and everything around it, that's why I wanted to include it in this video. Now, this next cosplay was done by a guy named Lions91. He cosplayed as Mirage, and surprisingly, I couldn't find a lot of Mirage cosplays. This was one of the highest rated Mirage ones on Reddit. This guy definitely kind of looks like Mirage, just his face and his hair. Without the outfit, I could, you know, kind of see the resemblance of him and Mirage regardless. So I thought this was a really good concept. I mean, this guy just like nailed everything perfectly. Next up, we have probably one of the coolest Revenant cosplays that I've seen so far. This was done by Mile Creates, and this Revenant cosplay is insane. You can see the comparison of his cosplay versus the actual Revenant, and it's just so similar. I mean, everything about it looks so good. The outfit itself, it looks like was kind of like painted over maybe. I'm not really even too sure what kind of material they used for this cosplay, but the mask looks amazing. Everything about this cosplay looks awesome. So shout out to Mile Creates, because this was an amazing job on this Revenant cosplay. Moving on though, we have another Loba cosplay. This was done by Rhinality, and I remember seeing this on Twitter. I'm pretty sure she did this cosplay before Loba was even released and was one of the first people to actually cosplay Loba, so it got a ton of attention online. Everything looks really good in this cosplay. I don't think she made Loba's staff or anything like that, but if you added the staff, I mean, this would just be a perfect resemblance to what Loba actually looks like. Next up, we have a cosplay from Robot Giggles, and this is a Wraith cosplay that looks absolutely insane. I mean, the armor that she's wearing looks super good. She's got the red paint that's supposed to resemble blood on her face, and the contacts she's wearing is actually changing her pupils to like a light blue color, which I'm not sure if that's the same exactly in the skin, but nonetheless, I think this cosplay looks absolutely insane. You can tell she's definitely a professional because everything just looks so well put together, and this girl even actually did another Wraith cosplay. This is the Wraith quarantine skin that she cosplayed. You can see she has different hair and a completely different outfit that she's wearing. So this is an amazing cosplay nonetheless. And then finally, one thing that I also wanted to show you guys is a cosplay that Robot Giggles actually made for the CEO of Respawn. So she was actually flown out to Respawn to make a caustic cosplay for the CEO of Respawn, Vince Zampella. And I just think that is like one of the funniest things ever, because I was reading some of the Reddit comments and a lot of the developers were saying that this was like the funniest day in the Respawn offices ever, because Vince Zampella was going around kicking down doors dressed as caustic, just repeating his voice lines and doing crazy stuff like that. So I would love to see that video, and if I ever find it, I will definitely tweet it out to you guys. But yeah, she went over, made this cosplay for him, and I think it looks really good. Apparently they only had about a day to actually come up with this cosplay, so nonetheless, everything looks perfect. It looks exactly like caustic, and I'm sure Vince had a fun time just walking around the offices of Respawn, being caustic and placing traps on doors and melting people's face off with gas. I'm sure he didn't actually do that, but you know, we can always dream that Vince Zampella is actually caustic. He is the real life version. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys do enjoy these cosplay concepts, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed. If you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I have a ton of cool content ideas that I want to release to you guys over the next couple of months, so the way that you guys can see that is to be subscribed to the channel. But hopefully you guys have an awesome day. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.